carpenters were remodeling this house. And the person who owned the house passed away, so it was bought. So they're going through and remodeling this house. They tear a wall open. They find thousands of human teeth that were put back like in, the gum type of situation. Just stacked up in the wall, from the floor to the ceiling. The whole length of the wall was nothing but human teeth.
Ooh, were they in some kind of container? I mean,
no,
they
were
just individual teeth, or just like false teeth? Or
they were like false teeth, but they were real teeth. They were like put in something like a gum, like your gums, and there were teeth in it, and they were real teeth. Now, even if it was a dentist that was doing that, we're talking tens of thousands of teeth here. How many? That means for every year he was in practice, everybody who went in there, they didn't get their teeth filled. He pulled them all out. I mean, I don't understand why anybody, weird things, it's like the day before, the penis thing, the next day, teeth.
Well, I got something for that. Some people put cash in their mattresses back in the day. Some people would store things in the wall for, may not have value at today's market, but maybe they were countering on something being very, later on. Those teeth might have been worth some money. Are you sure they didn't have gold in those teeth too?
No, they were just teeth. And the police and everybody is baffled. Like, why would somebody have all these teeth? I mean, I can't figure any use for it. I mean, you can't implant a tooth that's dead into somebody. I mean, and who knows how old they were and how far they dated back. And if somebody was collecting them as a hobby, then I guess what? They needed help.
Sounds like a tooth fetish to me.
Now, I guess there's fetishes on everything, but I tell you, I'd rather have it over Reese candy bars over the teeth or penises.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Of course, if I had that many penises as that guy had in the jars, right? I guess my having a lot of spare teeth to chomp down on something, it would have.
That's a lot of. That is a lot of gherkin jars you got to have laying around in a big room somewhere, because that's a lot of penises, and also a lot of teeth.
I don't know.
I didn't catch that part. Were they pickled?
They were in a formaldehyde.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
pickling was just as good.
Yeah, it's just like back a couple months ago, I was reading. They were remodeling a house. Actually, they were tearing a house down, getting ready to build a new house, and they found human bones everywhere. Everywhere, literally hundreds of human bones.
Wow. There's some unrest spirits floating around. There's got to be. I mean, think about it. Even like the house that you were talking about, I think it was your grandmother, Gary, or I don't know I think it was your grandmother, that there was a former owner of the house whacked his wife and buried her in the dirt down in the crawl space, and then sold the house like nothing. I mean, gee, many Christmas, you want to talk about an unrested spirit. That's a good formula for it right there.
Well, yeah. I mean, but you think about that. I just still remember to this day my grandmother and grandfather coming over to our house and telling us like things were moving in the kitchen. They would hear, banging on the walls. It sounded like footsteps. And then a real bad odor would come and go. Of course, I guess the corpse was underneath their bedroom floor. I mean, you're talking a crawl space, maybe 2 feet or something like that between the ground and the flooring. I mean, if somebody's going to murder their wife and wrap them up in a blanket and put a chain around them, why would you not, just put them in a crawl space and then rent the house out afterwards? I would think that the body would, start decomposing and it would smell so bad. You would be scared to death to do something like that because you would get caught. But I don't know. Would. I mean, some people don't think or they don't care. No. Maybe he wanted to get caught.
Yeah, maybe. And, also, it had to be a very, very shallow grave, because if you're in a crawl space...
No grave at all.
Yeah, it's got to be shallow. So
there was
you had to have
no grave, no dirt over it, nothing. The body was laying on the ground. You know, you have your floorboards you walk on, and underneath the house there was a crawl space around 2 feet, 2.5 feet, so you could get underneath and do whatever you had to do. The way the house was built, her body was wrapped up in a blanket with a chain around it. This laying on the ground. It wasn't buried at all. Nothing. It was not buried.
Oh, wow. No wonder the neighbors could have smelt that. I thought it was like a real shallow grave, like a little bit of dirt over it, but that didn't have nothing. That is mind-blowing. It's a wonder that he didn't get caught way before that.
Well, he did get caught. It just took about a year for it to happen.
Maybe he forgot. How could you forget a thing like that?
I don't know, unless the wife was really bad, but that's not even good to say that, because nobody has the right to kill somebody, and yeah, I don't know.
Right. Well, you couldn't forget. I mean, the smell would remind you it's just rotten. That's awful. Jeez.
The aliens did it. I don't know how it got there.
Now, Gary, there's no such thing as aliens. Okay. They're
well, how about the people cutting holes through the fence?
That's what I mean. They're just friends.
Have you read about that, guys? The fence separating Mexico and the United States. They're going out and buying a $20 power tool and cutting a hole in it and coming right through. I thought this type of fence. Oh, yeah, they designed it for you couldn't climb over it. They didn't think about you just cut a hole and come in.
Yeah, or maybe, I don't know how deep they go down. Probably could tunnel under it anyway.
Oh, didn't you see in the news today?
No, I missed it.
They found underneath of one of these, part of the fence, they found a huge tunnel that had air conditioning and everything. It was big enough you could drive a car through it.
Oh, my goodness. Air conditioning and drive a car.
Lights and everything.
That took some time. That took some serious effort and willpower there. Wow.
You figure how much drugs and people you could, funnel through something like that. Right, Sam?
Yeah, because, what people don't understand is that they think that you can put a fence clear across the United States, separating Mexico and the United States. And quite simply, there are places along the terrain where it's impossible to put a fence on top of that. And people can get through those areas where you can't put a fence as well. Might be a little bit rougher trying to get through it, but they'll get through. But yeah, it's a joke about the fence. And it says, why are you fortifying parts of the fence? And people can just cut right through in the bottom part or go under a tunnel. That's like having a thin house with thin plaster walls with a large separation between the joists and securing your house with a steel door and all these locks, and someone just take a hammer and just knock through the plasterboard and walk through the side of the wall. I mean, that's how ludicrous it is.
Yeah, but look at what we done. We taken money from the military, and that's the scary part, to build this wall.
I know.
Anybody want to buy 2 dogs?
Yeah. Well, I thought maybe the dogs were commenting. I mean, maybe they really were sensitive about this wall issue.
Probably. I tell you what, I sure would not like to break in this house without those dogs knowing me. I tell you what, they wouldn't be anything left of me.
I've seen your dogs. They're pretty big.
And they're getting bigger by the week.
By the minute. They just ate some good nourishment, some of your insulation there from the sounds of it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. So, Sam, anything you want to say here? Because our time is going by fast here tonight because I'm on a talkative mood.
Is that what we also call on a roll? Or maybe? I don't know.
I don't know if I'm on the ball or on a roll, but I'm going somewhere.
Well, I found something interesting. I know we're going to have a guest talking about UFOs. And one of the things I found on the internet was a map where it goes back to, it has 80,000 records in this database. It goes between the years 1910 to 2014. and it will even show a time elapsed. So what it does, it maps it on the United States. So you can see the hot spots and actually watch this thing through the years to see where all the hot spots are developing. It's pretty profound. You can actually see patterns of where the different UFOs are starting to make their way, you know. Of course, Washington State seems to top the list for some reason all the time. And in California as well. And any of the populated areas seem to have more of the UFOs. But I will mention one thing. When it comes to UFOs, why is Washington State one of the top states when it comes to seeing UFOs, and also happens to be one of the top states that has Bigfoot sightings as well? So go figure.
I can tell you one reason, maybe, because one, we have Bangor, which stores nuclear, devices. We also have another weapons depot near Bangor that carries nuclear weapons. We have, Fort Lewis, McChord. We have the Naval Shipyard. And then we also have a base over in Everett. We got a major base over Eastern Washington. So I guess, we got a lot of military, a lot of, nukes and all this stuff in our state. And a lot of people don't realize it. We have a huge depot of nuclear weapons here, not even 30 miles from where I live. Actually, it's probably about 20 miles from where I live.
That probably is why they're busy monitoring the situation then. If there's a lot of UFO sightings, then I can see where the ETs are very concerned about stockpiles. And if you take even Hanford or anything, possibly the use of nuclear power as well. So, I mean, we have all that up here, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. So maybe that's why we have more, sightings in our state. And who knows what we have, maybe underground bases in our state, too, that we're not aware of.
Oh, yeah. You don't even know if these mountain ranges are connected by underground bases. Like, we always talk about being the Ring of Fire, and there was talk about that as well with Mount Rainier, Mount Baker, Mount Hood, up and down the line. And but you don't know. We've also had the UFO sightings around these places a considerable amount of time.
Oh, yeah.
Especially like Mount Adams, for instance. So it makes you wonder if there is something going on.
Yeah. Hey, Sam, we got to cut you. Guess what? All
right.
It's that time again. We'll talk to you the last half an hour of the show, my friend. Okay, you take care.
One thing that comes through, we are not alone in this universe. It's a thought that rings true. Ancient cave dwellers drew spacecraft on the poles. It's a recurring theme. I've seen the same thing while walking late at night, and I know it's not a dream.
From Malmstrom to Manat, Boston to LA, there are people asking questions and they will not go away. But what has been seen might not be what it seems. The government's shadows dance in the sea.
If you tell the truth, they will ridicule everything you say and do. It's all part of a deception. It's a puppet master's tool. And I've seen those craft shut down the silos from 10 miles away.